Hey guys, this is Brian with Brian's Aquatics. About a month ago, Kyle's Wild World had put out a video about uh, handicap accessible or wheelchair accessible stands based on, nice fingerprint, a YouTube video done by a gentleman named called Aquanut, and wanted us to come up with some ideas. Well, I was building a stand for a 75-gallon tank that we're putting in our basement, and I thought, let's think of some add-ons we could add to a stand. So I came up with a couple ideas myself, then talked to Aquanut about some things that he might like to see, and he gave me some ideas. And here's some of the ideas we came up with. The first thing we came up with is these doors. He'd recommend doing sliding doors on a stand instead of traditional opening doors, because what you run into with that is when you go up to the stand, you open up the doors, you have to lean forward to do it, and you could fall out of your wheelchair. So we did sliding doors by using a track. You can see the track, upper track and lower track and guides right there, and the doors just slide open easily. Now these open a little rough still, because the stand isn't finished yet. It still needs to be wrapped with a nice wood and stained, and then at that time I'll wax these tracks. These tracks are wood. They actually were, believe it or not, these tracks and guides are hard to find. There's only a couple manufacturers of them that I could find online. Nobody at my local box store carried these at Lowe's, Home Depot, or Menards. You could order through them online, but nobody carried them in store. So that was probably the biggest thing. Almost everything I did here you could find at a box store to get right away. You wouldn't have to wait, or you can order online, save some money. But so we put sliding doors in. The next thing we did was add a 6-plug outlet that was easy to slide out. Now all this is 1x2s right here and right here, and the 1x2s, this 1x2 is attached to the stand itself, and that can be done on any stand, even a pre-built stand or one you have at home. And I attached it with 1 5/8 number 6 trim screws, followed by a nice drawer slide. This is one of the more expensive ones. I mean, it was like $16 a set here. Now you can buy cheap ones, but we tried a cheap one on here and it didn't seem to hold up. After about 4 or 5 pulls it would bind or something like that. So I would recommend using going ahead and spending the extra money and buying one that's nice. And then we just added another 1x2. These are held in with just the mounting screws that go with that came with the slides, and that's just a standard drawer slide. You can find this at any box store, or you can probably even find it a little cheaper online. And then just a normal regular 6-plug outlet strip, and I got it plugged into so we don't have to try to run a cord way out off into nowhere. We actually put an outlet in back here, and then wired an extension cord to it, and what it does is it gives us another solid outlet inside the stand itself, and then that way we can plug in something else that may be needed down the road, whether it be an accessory or maybe a light for inside the cabinet, which I think personally would be kind of sweet. I think there's my cat in the background running around. And then the next thing we came up with, if I can open up the doors here, let's close that up, is everything that we did you can find at a box store, or it's pretty commonplace in a hardware store. The next thing is a stand that will hold your canister filter that comes out. Aquanut had mentioned on here on his video that he wasn't able to get his box filter or his canister filter out and had to have help with it, and it would be something he'd like to do on his own. So we came up with a stand, once again using those 1 5/8 screws. We attached it to 2 1x2s down here. Now underneath this board I did put framing in, subframing in. There's 2x4s underneath here, so that way I could screw this in. Other than that, this stand is just your standard do-it-yourself stand with 2x4s. And then what we did after that was place 1x2s on top of those to get the lift necessary to get past this tracking system. That was the only reason why these 1x2s are in here. We was to be able to get that above that. Now you could do that any way you'd wish. This is just kind of the way we decided to do it, held in by L brackets. Then these are the just another different set of drawer slides. These ones were on the cheaper end. They were, I think in our store, were $6 a set. Got these. They are rated for up to 75 pounds. They make them for 100 and 150 pounds. I mean, depending on the size of your canister filter. In this case, we're just putting a Fluval 306 in here, so 75-pound weight limit was more than adequate. I mean, if you see, we can pretty much, I can push on this and it doesn't go anywhere. But it slides out. You have 22 inches of total space right here. And plenty of space to put your canister filter. And then I thought to myself, well, you're going to need something to be able to grab a hold of it in order to pull the slide out. So what I did was I went and bought some cast iron piping, which, like I said, I bought it, I think at Menards, might have been Home Depot, but either way, I used a T-handle, a 12-inch piece of half-inch pipe, and just a base to mount it on. All that you can pick up in their gas lines, I think, right by their water or their plumbing supplies, and attached it. That way, when you come up to the stand, you can just grab a hold of this versus trying to bend all the way over and grab the bottom like this. That didn't seem very safe to me, so we put a handle in. That way you can easily pull it out. Now, to keep from stretching the hose that comes off your canister filter, what I did next was added 2 pieces of PVC pipe right there, so that way you can hook your canister filter hoses up to that and give yourself some slack that'll stay up here without getting a dip in the lines. Every canister filter says in the instructions not to have a dip in the line, but that'll keep from having the dip in the line and stretching the hose off the back of your aquarium. And then on the other side right there, it'll run up to your aquarium and you won't even have to mess with it anymore. The last thing we did, and this was kind of the first thing I thought of, was stand height. Now, all the stands in my house are at 28 inches, and we borrowed a wheelchair to see where a standard seat height is 19 inches in a wheelchair. We borrowed one, and I have a stand downstairs that we built in wall that was 28 inches. Well, we found that on a standard 75-gallon tank, excuse me, you could almost reach inside to do some cleaning, especially if you have a cleaner on a stick, so to speak, or your vacuum. Well, I built this stand at 26 inches. We borrowed a wheelchair and found that with a 75-gallon tank, you could actually have good access. Now, they say the average eye height for someone in a wheelchair is 46 to 54 inches. This is 26 inches. Your average stand is, or your average 75-gallon tank is 21 inches. So that gives you a total of 47 inches, and it actually gives you enough arm height that you could reach in there and not quite touch the bottom, but be about halfway there, to make it more accessible. Now, we will be putting this stand on adjustable feet, and we'll have them, 6 of them, 3 on this side, 3 on the other side, so that way we can adjust the height a little bit. And that's something you can do to adjust the height if you are in a wheelchair, if you feel that's too short and it needs to come up. The feet I found that will work on this stand, I found online. I don't remember the name of the product right offhand, but it gives you that adjustment height. These are some of the things we thought of. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will talk to you later. Bye.